Differences between the North and South before the Civil War. It was very cold in the North during the winter season and really warm in the summer. On the coastline, there were bays and harbors where they built ships and kept ships, and where the fishermen caught fish. Inland, it was really hard to farm, so they turned to trade and crafts, like getting timber for shipbuilding.
In the South, they had mild winters and long, hot, humid summers. Along the coastlines, there were swamps and marshes where they grew rice and sugarcane, and they also fished. Inland, they grew indigo, tobacco, and corn. Towns follow rivers inland. Also, they grew cotton in the South.
In the North, there were more cities and factories, making more products. When the machines came, the economy boosted and the less skilled workers started to work, taking the more skilled workers out of jobs due to unpopular demand. Products were also made cheaper and faster.
The South was known for their plantations and slaves. The white Southerners made living off the land. Cotton was very important, so slavery expanded with it as it went to the West.
Society in the North was way less strict than society in the South. It allowed for more mobility in between social classes. In the top of the social classes, there were politicians, businessmen, and industrialists. In the middle class, there were large farmers and workers. In the lower class, there were poor farmers. Also in the lower class, there were small business owners. Also in the North, most people lived up on farms. Children were expected to help with the harvesting, and cities next to factories or RR tracks were really common.
Society in the South was stricter than in the North. The wealthy plantation owners found themselves at the top of the pyramid, and the less wealthy plantation owners were in the middle. At the bottom were the slaves. Black Southerners had a small minority fee, and they lived separately, wore special badges, and they were mostly skilled craftspeople or servants. The slaves were cooks, carpenters, blacksmiths, nurses, maids, nannies, and most field hands. The white Southerners measured wealth in terms of land and slaves.
Political differences between the North and South. Sectional differences with the South led to political differences. Reform movements, for example, abolitionists, got more involved with politics. Growing population of the North allowed the North to get more political power in Congress and presidential elections. The Republican Party became the more dominant in the northern states in the 1850s. Wanting to stick to central government, the North voted to rather have one strong government for tradition reasons, and the rising support of limiting expansion of slavery.
The sectional differences between the North and the South include state rights, which in the South had really strong believers, and the South feared that the North will move to abolish slavery. Supporters were popular in sovereignty in a state or territory's decision to allow slavery. The Democratic Party was the dominant party in the South. Plantations class in control of the political power. And supporters for the state's ability to nullify federal laws were not uncommon in the South.